Namaste, Scorpio. This is your biweekly reading from the period of September 16th through September 30th. So finishing out the month, we're beginning with Major Arcana card, the Star. It's card number 17. Yeah, I'm excited about the Star because I promise you I shuffle all the cards that I'm going to work with before I get in front of you. And with these decks also, we're starting with the Star. So seeing these two stars for you right off the bat is really making me think that your dreams are going to be coming true, your wishes are being granted, your prayers are being answered. In other words, you are successfully manifesting what you want and need and deserve in your life. And I'm very happy for you because Scorpio, has had a couple of rough months, although I think the reading that I did for you at the beginning of the month was very promising also, if I remember correctly. But prior to that, you guys, and water signs in particular in my readings, like weren't necessarily getting the best end of the stick every time that we did one. So anyway, I'm just very excited about this one for you guys. Other than that, for some, an Aquarius is going to be particularly significant. Major Arcana card 17, the star represents the sign of Aquarius most directly. And I've been seeing a lot of air and water in my readings for a few months now. It used to be like that all the time, like just air and water, air and water. And a lot of these really hot and heavy sort of relationships. And then it cooled down for a while. And I really think it goes by the celestial system, at least for me, and it seems to, in my observation and what I know of what's going on in the celestial system and what I see in my cards. It's like, it seems to be mirroring it. You know what I mean? So that very strong energy has been back. I probably for like 2 months now. Anywho, yeah, so some of you may be involved with an Aquarius, which would be interesting, actually. And you're probably going to have to depend upon if you're a Scorpio sun, you're going to probably have to depend upon your moon and or rising signs in order to make that relationship work with an Aquarius. Because an Aquarius is, the sign of Aquarius is the sign of freedom. And Scorpios really only want to give you freedom when they're being a recluse, when they're in the mood to sort of shrink back and not talk to anybody, which y'all tend to get into the mood to do that, to just be quiet and not answer your phone or, reach out to anyone and just be to yourselves for, a few days, a week, 2 weeks. And then when you're ready to emerge again, you want everybody else to be ready to receive you. An Aquarius might not chase you down like that. Doesn't mean that they're not interested, that they don't like or even possibly love you, but their sign is just much different. And it's not because they're superficial as you might think, because a sign as deep as you guys, ruled by a planet that's all about like depths, like Pluto, you may presume, sort of naturally, understandably so maybe, that they are superficial and lacking substance, and that's really not the case. It's just, they're ruled by air, and which you can't keep air down, and you guys are water, so then you get into the depths and stuff. But they are the water bearer, and in the celestial system, their sign is out there in what's called the sea. So maybe that is something to unite you and connect you. Other than that, this card is about communication too. And what's really interesting and may drive that is the fact that during this period, I think it's the 27th, if I remember correctly. This is off the top of my head, so do not quote me, please. But Mercury enters your sign. So Mercury, ruler of the sign of Gemini, fellow air sign Gemini, the planet of communication, leaves Libra and enters your sign. So that may be why also you're getting into this ability maybe to deal with an air sign more easily because communication is being encouraged by like your soul. Also, some of you may look into like online dating, or you may find yourself more and more communicating in a way that involves technology, be it FaceTime or texting or I don't know, all the many ways, Skype and all this kind of stuff. Right, the next card is in reverse, but what's really cool is that it's the Nine of Cups. Okay, and the Nine of Cups, even in reverse, is one of these cards about your prayers being answered, your wishes coming true, your dreams becoming a reality, just like the Star. So that's already, we haven't even really gotten into anything yet, and that's already 3 cards about successful manifestation for you guys. It's pretty amazing. All right, so I'm going to shuffle in front of you a little bit too, and opening right to a card about your energy and emotional fulfillment. This is a new relationship or an ex returning that you're happy about, a new job, a new home, a new baby, anything that would make you just feel full of happiness, joy, love. That's what the Ace of Cups represents, and a fresh, new beginning. I love that for you. Ace of Cups. And your energy again. This is going to be a good reading. We haven't even done anything yet. Major Arcana card 13, of course. Death, which represents your sign. And it's about endings, but that is how the new beginnings come about, right? The endings give way to new beginnings. Or it's about you transitioning into a new phase in your life, a new fresh start, a new adventure, and getting over maybe this feeling of having been like left out in the cold, or everybody's doing great except me, everybody's successful except me, everybody's got the money and the fame and the happiness, the joy, the love, whatever that they want except me. And that's not true. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You may want to create an environment for yourself that just really feels like home. And makes you happy, and makes you feel joy and contentment and peace and security. That's what the Queen of Pentacles is about. She is a nurturer, whether she's upright or in reverse, and she's generous and likes to make time for people and those she loves especially. But when she's in reverse, she could be a little bit off her game, and what sort of heals her in a holistic way is a homey environment, is comfort. So that would probably help you too in your relationships and all you do. And opening to the Two of Pentacles, which can be about balance. I don't want to turn the cards a different way. Balance, a decision you're having to make perhaps with regard to an earthly matter. Maybe having something to do with work. If so, know that where you do work, where you put your effort, is from where a result is going to come for you. Like you're going to reap what you sow. You do the work, you get the benefit, basically. One more. And it's the Two of Wands in reverse. Two of Wands in reverse is almost as wonderful as the Two of Wands upright. What's this? It's the Devil in reverse. Your sign, your ruler, Pluto, is your other ruler, right? Is currently retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. I believe it goes direct on the 4th of October. So that would be after this reading. We'll find out what that means for you guys next time. But the Devil in reverse is a positive card. It's about basically negative emotions or fears that you've released. So it could be connected to the Death card. You're allowing those things to die, or those aspects of yourself to die, parts of you that were afraid or something, or thinking in a negative way, and holding yourself back, letting those things about yourself die, and moving into a new fresh phase of your own life. Like that song with T.I., The Old Me is Dead and Gone. I didn't mean to stop, but I stopped here on Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, which represents your fellow water sign Cancer most directly. A Cancer could be particularly significant to some of you. This is also a card of great success and movement, moving, travel, both literal and metaphoric. And that brings us to the Page of Swords in reverse. This could be the Aquarius to which you're connected, as well as a Gemini or a Libra, or someone likened to those traits or attributes that's not even an air sign at all. This could be about conflicts that pop up, maybe at your job, or in your relationships. It doesn't have to be like big, huge conflicts, but like misunderstandings and things, and the need to communicate. So again, maybe it's good that Mercury is moving into your sign because that will facilitate communication. Need to like, clear the air and get stuff right. For others that are not having difficulties in their communication, this could be about delays, maybe with travel and stuff. I don't know when Mercury goes retrograde again, but that should be coming up soon too. It's like every quarter. So it happens 3 or 4 times a year, like every 3 months. So I think it's probably time again, although I don't want to rush it. I'm not necessarily a fan either, even though I'm a Gemini, and that's my ruler. Maybe for that reason, I'm definitely not a fan because we get affected. Probably like I'm on the most, along with Virgo. Anyway, delays, whether Mercury is involved or not, and just like, if you do get some news, it might not be the happiest. It might not be what you want to hear. Nothing to be afraid of, nothing necessarily dire or anything like that, but it might not be what you want to hear. All right, I'm going to get the stands so that I can pull some more cards for you and they can all be in clear view. All right. I think about there. We'll probably do it. We'll double check before I start describing the card. So the first card is going to be the card that represents you most directly over the next 2 weeks, and it is the Three of Pentacles in reverse. The second card is surrounding energy, close friends, family members, maybe co-workers, something going on at the job. It is Wheel of Fortune in reverse. The next card is work and finance. Very nice. The King of Wands, upright. And lastly, love and relationship, and it is the Lovers in reverse. Interesante. All right, and everything is in frame. Yes, let's go. Oops, I took these. All right, now let's go. Okay, I don't think I have anything else to say about the Page of Swords, so we're going to go straight to the Three of Pentacles. And this is a card that, in alignment with what I said about the star, or the fact that you guys basically had like 3 stars in the beginning and you're manifesting right now. This card says like to put your best foot forward in everything that you do. It's like this is a time for you to give your best, period. And to not settle like for the easiest thing, the easiest way out, the simplest solution, the easiest to catch mate or to impress mate, none of that stuff. Like to really put your best effort out there for the thing that you really want, because you do have such strong energy of manifestation around you. You can get it, whatever it is. You can get it right now. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse is just as good as the Wheel of Fortune upright, really. It's about a reversal of fortune. So first of all, let me go over the fact that this card most directly represents the planet Jupiter, ruler of the sign of Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter is located there in Capricorn with Pluto, although Jupiter has already gone direct. But it's there in Capricorn too. So that may be a reason why this is showing up. Others of you may be a Scorpio, Sagittarius, or have some other connection to a Sag perhaps. But that's not even necessary because, well, it's not necessary, period. But another reason why it's not necessary, is because the Wheel of Fortune is also connected, and Jupiter also connected to the fixed sign. So that would include you guys, as well as Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, that's it, and you. So yeah, all 4 of the fixed signs. So if things had been going, super for you, this Wheel of Fortune and reversal of fortune could mean that maybe this was going to be a downtime for you. But again, based on all these stars that showed up, it looks like this is definitely an uptick for you. And so this Wheel of Fortune is going to be no different. It's possible that because it's reverse, all of the wonderful things that are happening to you may not be as obvious, as blatant or whatever, but change is still coming, so like maybe if it was upright, something really grand would happen that you couldn't help but to notice was a change was happening in your life, and it was for the better, and it was, in reverse it could be a little bit more subtle. And so positive things are happening that are helping you along the way that you don't necessarily stop to smell the roses about, if I'm making any sense. Where somebody could get particularly lucky, as in the Wheel of Fortune, is perhaps in the area of fertility, where you were having difficulty in becoming pregnant, maybe, or in getting someone pregnant, maybe, if that's what you were trying to do in your life. The Three of Pentacles, I guess in connection to love, or as part of its general energies, can be a time when our fertility is higher than usual, when the Three of Pentacles in reverse shows up. So we have a better chance of becoming pregnant, or maybe of impregnating somebody, if that's what we want to do. It's also a good time to meet people, particularly through work. And so you're fertile in other ways as well, not just in terms of giving birth or becoming pregnant. And with the Wheel of Fortune sitting next to it, I just think that those opportunities are strengthened. And if I look at the whole spread, then it's really, a perfect time to maybe try to start a family and things, because the card representing your work and finance is the King of Wands. This is another card that's awesome in the area of pregnancy and things. And the Lovers, which is about genuine relationships, like true love, soulmate connections, all of that kind of stuff. Speaking of the King of Wands, though, he may be this Sagittarius if one actually is significant in your life. In fact, in the tarot, most directly, traditional tarot practice, the King of Wands does specifically represent the sign of Sagittarius. Although a lot of times in my readings, I'll attribute that energy to the page because, it's a mutable sign and it's the more youthful and adventurous and all that of the fire signs. But yeah, in traditional practice, he would indeed be the King of Wands. And this could be a Sagittarius in your life, or a Leo, or an Aries, or, doesn't have to be a fire sign at all. It can just be somebody who is of this type. And in this placement, work and finance, it may actually be a character who is like sort of a mentor for you. This person has your best interests at heart, and you can count on them, although they may be, sometimes a little rough around the edges as far as people skills and come off a little bit abrasive, maybe overly aggressive. That's their fire. You can still learn what you can from this person by, paying attention to maybe some of their mannerisms, and again, what they're trying to consciously show you, and the people to whom they introduce you, and techniques that they maybe train you in, or something at the job as well, or opportunities they could bring you into, like maybe some sort of networking opportunity. They could introduce you to someone who could further you along. If it's not an actual person, if it's just an energy, things are probably going well for you at work. They should be, at least. And if you don't have a job and you say, well, it can't go work well for me because I'm unemployed, for you too, it's positive. If you're seeking employment, the King is one of these cards that can mean that the job that does come for you soon is one that you'd be like really pleased with, as opposed to just getting a job and like just working someplace because you get a paycheck, which I understand you need to do that sometimes too. But this would be somewhere where you're really happy. It could even be connected to that Ace of Cups and the emotional fulfillment, a job that you could fall in love with, which is amazing and more than, any of us could ask for. That's like the perfect situation. Lastly, speaking of mutable signs, Page of Swords. Oh, look at that. I always look at the next card and I forgot this time. Anyway, the Page of Swords is very possibly a Gemini, which the Lovers also represents. But I guess we're meant to see Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, as well, which represents the sign of Virgo, also a mutable sign, also ruled by Mercury. And then the Hangman in reverse is also here. This is somebody who's coming to some sort of enlightenment or is ready to let go of something onto which they were holding, whether it was negative emotions or some sort of fear or inhibition, something prohibiting them from moving forward with their life. They're ready to move past it. Look, he's been enlightened. See all the light around his head and stuff. So he's ready to move forward. This is also representative of a mutable sign, the sign of Pisces. So you got all four of the mutable signs around you, the energy of all those. But I had picked this up to compare it to the Lovers, and the fact that they're both in reverse, and that again, I tend to when I'm reading cards, tie the page to the mutable sign of a given element. So in this case, Gemini, there could be an actual Gemini that some of you guys are involved with, interested in. Maybe an ex, maybe that somebody that you're considering returning to, communicating with after a period of time has passed, perhaps. Maybe you've been in separation or something, and it still may be delayed. The fact that this page of swords is in reverse and that they're both in reverse can mean that there's going to be some delays. If it's not about delays for a given person, then it is about just exactly what I described the Lovers as before. A card that's about genuine love. It's a super positive omen in the area of love, but the overall sort of impact is maybe lessened or weakened in this context with the reversal. So what maybe would have been overwhelming feelings of love and happiness and joy, still going to be, but maybe not as much. It's just a little bit lessened, if not delayed. And that's for singles and couples. So it could also like delay how you feel about love or about your love life in general, like feeling better about it. If you haven't been feeling that enthused or great about it, you're going to be feeling better about it, but not as much as you would be, or as indicated that you would be, if the Lovers was upright. I hope that made sense. But also, again, seeing the Hermit here, I do have to mention again, very possible an ex rekindling with you, or you with them, you guys coming back into contact with each other. The Hermit, as it relates to love, can very much be about rekindling an old relationship, romantic relationship, very specifically. And again, it represents the sign of Virgo. So this could be a connection, perhaps, if not to directly to a Virgo or directly to a Gemini, to Mercury, which rules both of these. And again, maybe it's because you're all of a sudden encouraged to communicate because of what's going on around you in the celestial system, that you decide to reach out to an ex or to accept their phone call or to unblock them. I know how y'all do. One of my best friends is a Scorpio. She's so freaking funny. I learned I cannot do this with an iPhone. I was a lifelong Droid user until my phone just went crazy, like right before COVID, from like maybe like November through like February. I was not getting all my calls. I was not getting all my texts. If somebody contacted me, it's like if my ex tried to reach me during those periods, they think I had them blocked. Or I wasn't answering I wasn't answering my calls or whatever. I wasn't getting them anyway. But I used to have an Android, and she has an Android, and we used to do these things where like we would block people, and I'd forget that they were blocked, which is why I probably never liked to block people. But she would encourage me, "Oh, girl, block her, block him, whatever." It was fun, it was fun, whatever. But when you have an Android, you can still read the messages like that the blocked people send you and stuff, or you could still like see that they called. You can't see that with the iPhone. So she has this habit of going to check to see if the blocked people contacted her, and then if they did, unblocking them, maybe contacting them back and stuff like that. And my daughter's a Scorpio, and she puts her friends on block too for shits and giggles. And one time was in a group chat with them, and the one girl to whom she's very close didn't know what she was talking about, and she was like, "Wait, do you have me blocked?" And she's like, "Oh, wait, let me let me check." And sure enough, the poor girl, had been blocked for months, but they hadn't noticed until they were in this group chat. So, if there's somebody you've been missing that you may have unblocked, or maybe you just want to check your blocks, especially if you have an iPhone as opposed to an Android, maybe you just want to check your block list and take off your ex if you've been looking to get into communication with them again, because they may be trying to reach out to you if you're not to them. Let's see what your advice is now. I enjoyed your reading. I hope you guys did too. And like I said, I'm just happy for you, even though I am not a Scorpio myself. I do have a bunch that surround me. My mom's a Scorpio too, and there's just a ton around me. Anyway, again, we're beginning with Major Arcana card 17, the Star. The next card is in reverse. It's the Ace of Swords. So now we have Gemini. Now we have the Lovers, the Page of Swords, and the Ace of Swords all in reverse. I definitely think it's an indication of a new beginning for you, maybe in love and possibly in other areas of your life. But since we had the Lovers in reverse, I'm talking about it in connection perhaps with this Ace of Swords in reverse. So delay there, but it is coming back. And, could be a new beginning in other areas of your life too, where it was a delay in a relationship, and maybe, you were in separation or whatever. I think the separation was not because you were just pulled apart, but because of some sort of challenges and difficulties in the relationship. Because the Ace, comes on the heels of the 10 of Swords. And that's, betrayal, hurt, again, separation, maybe trust issues, different things like that. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. So the Ace of Swords, as opposed to the other aces, is considered like a card of victory because you made it past those challenges. And sure enough, what's behind this Ace of Swords but your energy, also in reverse. So the King of Cups in reverse on his own, in connection to love and relationships, is somebody who is ready to, give it all, lose it all, risk it all, however you want to put it, for love, for happiness. So whereas they may have had some sort of walls built up before, which might be what all the swords represent, they're ready to put those down and to say to hell with what other people think, or, those fears I had that were holding me back, or whatever the case was, the other person I was seeing, or other people I was seeing or dealing with, or, having sex with, or whatever it was. I'm over all that, and I'm ready to give it all up for this new relationship or rekindled relationship. In terms of work, King of Cups in reverse can be about somebody who has some sort of like emotional, breakdown kind of. This could be like a Jerry Maguire moment or whatever. Like he has to let this stuff off his chest or let something out at work. And it may seem a little crazy, but it's probably beneficial to him and maybe to others at the office as well to get this thing off of his chest. I don't think that's what this is, though. I think for the most part, again, it is connected to some either familial connection or romantic relationship, because of the cards that are here and the cards that follow. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. But of course, again, this is your energy as well as that of Cancer and Pisces. And the card behind it is another one of happiness and joy, being surrounded by love and or family. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. If you've been holding something in, some sort of emotions about somebody, it's time to let them out. And lastly, Major Arcana card 20, Renewal, which represents what? Yes, the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make challenges so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been. So this is about letting go of the past, right? Forgive what has been without judgment, without saying, yeah, but it was your fault, oh, but I blame this. Let go of all of that, all the negative emotions, the guilt, the blame, the regret, the resentment, the inability to forgive, like all those sorts of things. And without any kind of judgment, fearlessly embrace what's to come. So Major Arcana Judgment is one of my most favorite cards in the deck. It is about abundance that is earned. Whether you earned it through some sort of physical work and labor on this plane, or you earned it through your karma, that the universe is rewarding you or awarding you in some sort of way. And right behind it, I'm going to stop, but right behind it is the Ace of Pentacles, also in reverse. So again, something delayed, but you can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. And you may be offered a fabulous new job or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. So of course, this can also be a relationship. It just goes on and on with your energy. The Queen of Cups is here. There's another Eight of Cups. Again, where you put your work and do the work is from where you're going to get the outcome that you want. Then the Three of Wands. Ships coming in. Just got to be a little bit more patient. Maybe because, again, they're delayed. So, yeah, this is wonderful energy for you. I don't know why I'm putting them back on top. Let me mix these up in here. All the ones that we looked at. Eight of... I think they're good and mixed up, and we're gonna good and mix them up a little bit more and see what else the cards have to say to you in the form of advice. Just to show there's no rhyme or reason to this. We can just shove them all together and let the chips or cards in this case fall where they may. All that just to come back to judgment. Can you believe it? So I just read this one to you. You know what it means. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. So in addition to being about judgment that's earned, abundance that is earned, judgment is also about second chances or second time around. That can be, again, in relationships or in other aspects, like maybe you applied for a job a while back, you didn't get it then, or they didn't need you then, they didn't make it up to your application then, but now they need people, and so they're calling you, or, you applied for an apartment, a home, whatever, you didn't hear anything back, now they're calling you, second chance, a second time around. Also, maybe like in terms of relationships, and this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, any kind, friendship, familiar relationship, business partnership, coming to like a crossroad, a make or break time or period, and deciding this is it. We either take the bull by the horns now or forget about it. We need to decide, like, where do we go from here, if anywhere? Some people will decide to keep going and go all the way, and some people will decide it's the end of the road, and that's it. I just want to point out that right behind Judgment, which again represents the planet Pluto, is Ego, or the Devil, which represents the sign of Capricorn. Again, Pluto is currently located in Capricorn, but this one was in reverse, just like the other Devil that we saw from the Rider-Waite Tarot. and this one's upright. So I do think it has something to do with Pluto going direct, which again is not part of this period, but it's a few days after. So maybe this is like the lead in. And to give you a card from each deck for each archetype. Well, that was easy. They don't always make it that easy for me. From the Animal Tarot to those of you who identify as a masculine archetype, it is the Nine of Wands. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. So if you just feel like you've done all the work you can, and you just have nothing left in you to give, or you just feel tired and maybe even down and out, this is a card that gives you another boost of energy and says, no, you're not. You're almost to the finish line, and we're going to make sure that you cross it. And so you make a comeback. You see how this Giselle is like leaping out? He got another boost of energy there so that he can make it wherever, home or across the Sahara or whatever he has to do. Major Arcana card 14, Balance, for the feminine, which is actually Temperance in the traditional tarot, which for me, first and foremost, I'm going to point out is more Aquarius energy, although again, it represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot, with this water bearer on the front of the card, this angel standing in a pool of water, pouring water back and forth between two vessels. Totally a water bearer, if you ask me. It brings in the energy of Aquarius yet again, but it does, in traditional tarot practice, represent the sign of Sagittarius and the planet Jupiter. It is about recovery and restoration, the way that I read it. Healing. Where something was lacking or lost or stolen, it is replaced. Maybe not the exact same thing, but the equivalent or better. Where somebody didn't feel quite whole themselves, that is healed. It gives you that feeling of being whole again. Where there was disagreement and discontent between parties, differences that we couldn't move beyond. All of a sudden, we're able to move past those differences and maybe even work together again. Collaboration, negotiation, compromise, all those possible with this. And I'm out of order now, but lastly, for the feminine, it is more fire energy with Major Arcana card 11, Strength. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. And you have tremendous personal power. That means you are able to apologize or to accept someone's apology. You have the strength to do that. And Major Arcana card Strength in general, any area or aspect of your life that it touches, whether it's money, love, general, it is a super positive card in every area. Most directly represents the sign of Leo. And lastly, for the masculine, speaking of the sign of Leo or the signs of Leo and Sagittarius, it's the Queen of Wands. She is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Queen of Wands is a Leo, Sagittarius, or perhaps Aries, which is ruled along with your sign by the planet Mars. Or maybe someone just likened to these traits or attributes. It's also the card that is representative of the divine feminine in the tarot. It's one half of the Two of Wands, which is the soulmate or twin flame card of the tarot, with the other half being the King of Wands, which we also saw in your reading. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. Share, comment, all of those things. I do appreciate it. Namaste.